Hi, it is Thursday, July the 19th. In case you weren't aware of that yet today, I just thought I'd let you know. I'm really excited to come to you again today. Boy, it's been like just a rock and roll Facebook Live party here in my world. And I thank all of you for joining me on many Facebook Lives lately. Here's what I'd like you to do. As always, let us know where you're joining us from. I'm here in Alaska. Sarah and Jason, where are you guys?
We're in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we're about an hour and a half west of Philadelphia.
Oh, all right, right on. So, you joining us from today. So put it in the comment section. I see Dr. Jessie there. It's probably smelling a lot better in her office right now than it was 24 hours ago. Jessie will have to pop in the question in the comment section and let us know where that is. And there's Lena, and Lena is in Miami. About December, Lena, I'll really be jealous when you pop that in. Right now, we're having like 70-degree weather, mid-70s here in Alaska, and everyone's like, because that's pretty warm for us. Dr. Jessie is in Ames, Iowa. So we've got us kind of, you guys are all east of the Mississippi. I'll hold down the fort here west of the Mississippi. But I just wanted to thank Dr. Sarah and Dr. Jason for joining me. As our title says today, this dynamic duo is ROCKIN practice and their family, which is hugely important to all of us in the boot camp, that we don't neglect our family and that we don't neglect each other and marriage. So we're going to be talking about those things. And so you guys, if you can, I can see like half of Sarah's face and only Jason's shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it's like gray. So we'll come closer. Sure. We'll just come like early in. There we go.
Awesome.
There you go. That's so cute.
Put your back.
So here's what I'd like to start with. What was happening in your practice prior to joining the boot camp? Like, what prompted you to ask for a coaching session? So those who are joining us, maybe they would identify with, oh my gosh, like that's where I was, or that's where I am now. Tell us your history of where were you?
Yeah. So, do you want to take this one and I'll jump in? Or?
Sure.
Cool.
So we, when did we start? That was like a few, 3-4 months ago.
Yeah,
I think 4.
Yeah, it kind of like meshes together. But where we were, we had recently, within, I guess, maybe like 6 to 8 months. Yeah, like roughly 6 to 8 months prior to that, Jason had joined me in practice. I started our practice and he was associating somewhere else. So we had been working with coaching previously, and I am a very systematic person, so I like organization, and I wanted some like step by step. You do this, then you do this, then you do this, and I had heard about you and about the boot camp because I had been in several other chiropractic Facebook groups, and we're kind of like, okay, we're searching for another thing, another person, because we wanted direction into marrying what we were doing together and then also moving forward. And we were very unorganized, to be honest. We're still working on it, to be honest, to be transparent, because we started really slow. I started our practice really slowly. I started with 0 in a 200 square foot office. I got one person from a screening event, then another and another, and I was full-time momming and then practice, and then Jason was full-time in another practice. So it was very slow. And then when Jason joined us in September of 2017, and then we moved to a 1,500 square foot space, when we started kind of we went all in our practice, we just like kind of exploded, and we could not keep up with taking care of patients, patient care, and then keeping up running the business and doing all the other things, and being organized. So we wanted something more organized. I wanted like a roadmap, if you will, to kind of get us to another place. Oh, here's a little one. One of our little ones. We have 3.5-year-old twins, so it makes it challenging. You want to say hi to our friends? Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Oh my gosh, so
What's your name?
sweet.
You say what your name is? Say hi, Dr. Barbara.
Hi, baby. You're
What's your
so adorable.
So yeah, so they make it 3.5-year-old twins make it challenging to kind of keep doing all the things you're doing. So that's for me how kind of preemptive started getting interested in the boot camp. Then we had our call with you. Sorry, we're half and half.
Sure.
Had our call with you, and we were like, okay, great. Like, let's just do it.
Nice. I love that. And so felt like you were all over the place and yet knew you had to get organized in order to go forward. A huge transition going into a new space. Jason comes on, you know, the kids aren't getting any easier, all of that. So, and there's Robin from Kansas. Kat, where are you joining us from? Sam is in Atlanta. Carly Gibson, where are you joining us from? Let us know. We want to see that we're all spread out. So let me ask you this. How do you, so, you know, in the boot camp, we don't really believe in the work-life balance because there is no balance. It's
There's no balance.
Obsession. It's harmony. How are the two of you, let's say, juggling practice member care, notes, growing your business, 3.5-year-olds, marriage, your own health? Like, what are your tricks?
Work in progress. I think for us, we separate personal from business more or less. I mean, yes, we're married, we're a couple, we have children, but in practice, we have to put aside kind of, you know, that, I don't know what kind of word to use there, but
I think the dynamic.
Yeah, the dynamic.
Just,
like she's Dr. Sarah in the office. I always address her as Dr. Sarah in the office to other patients, and we have that professional relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, depending on the patient, we might open up a little bit more about that, but I think keeping it separate, and if we have, you know, an issue at home, it stays at home.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
I think.
How do you do that, Jason?
Good question.
Yeah, when I'm in practice, I'm in the zone, and that's what my focus is. I mean, of course, something's going on with the girls or something. Yeah, that's always in my back of my mind, but my focus is the patient at hand and what's going on in practice, and if there's an issue or anything of that nature, and we deal with that after the fact.
Yeah, and I think like with the girls, having the kids, because they were 6 months old when we graduated chiropractic school. So we've like never been in this business without children, and without that kind of, it's not a balance. Like you said, it's not a balance, but with that dynamic, I think having a really strong family support is really key. Like we couldn't do daycare, like that would not work for us.
Right. And
we're very lucky. That's why we moved back to the area to be near family, that they could help us take care of our girls. So like, when we work late till 7:30, 7:45, we know that they're with grandma or mama. You know, they're with someone they love. But also how we kind of do it is we looked at our hours, and like Monday morning just used to be Jason and I was home. Then like we'll cut one of us early if we can. So it's just kind of like stealing in some hours here and there. We also take off Friday, and we do work on Fridays, but it's a family day. And then Tuesday morning is a family day. So like if it's a family day, we just do family day stuff. But I think it's very challenging to be, especially, I mean, being a dad, but being a mom, wanting to be home, wanting to spend time with your kids. But I just know the work that we put in now will pay off in dividends later. And it's kind of, they come to the office sometimes if they have to. So that's always great. Like having them there is fun. It's challenging. I would not suggest it on a busy day, but like on a Saturday, it's fun to bring them in and they do their routine. So it kind of brings them into the practice. And then they used to think Jason worked at the post office and made coffee, but I think they kind of, even though they get adjusted, I don't know where they came up with that.
I drank a lot of coffee.
He works at
the post office.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I think, how we do it. It's not perfect. You know, some days we do really miss our kids, and sometimes you just have to remind yourself, I'm doing all this hard work for a reason.
Yeah. So what is the reason?
For the girls. Yeah. I think the main reason well, this is a second career for both Jason and I. Chiropractic is our second career. So we knew going into chiropractic that we wanted to open a practice together, that we wanted to be our own boss, that we wanted to have the freedom and the financial ability to make what we want, to work how we want, and to build a future and build a future for ourselves that we want and for our girls so that they know that they could do the same. And that's my why. I don't know if you have a different one.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
And one of the week 5 boot camp coaches, Tabor Smith, joined us, and Tabor and Gina are a husband and wife team, and they have twins. I don't know if you guys know that. They have,
Cool.
yeah, they have twins. So Ryder must be, Tabor, how old is Ryder? He must be 7, and the twins must be 3 or 4. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
you have to pop in there, Tabor. But so I want to go back to something though for a minute, Jason. And hey, Dr. Tom, welcome. Dr. Tom is the guardian of Gonstad. I absolutely adore that man.
Hey, everybody.
So I want to go back to something you said though, that of getting in the zone, right? Like everything can be crazy at home, and most days, let's face it, with 3.5-year-old twins, most things are usually crazy by the time we our eyes open up and greet the day. What do you both do to get in the zone in order for your practice members to get 100% of you while you're there?
I think for myself, I always take just a little bit of time right before the start of a shift, and I kind of almost like a meditation type of thing. Kind of thinking about the practice, about the day, why I'm there for the day, what I can do for my patients, and I kind of just block out the outside. So that's huge for me. I think is more of like a meditation type aspect, kind of clearing out my head. Because I think a big issue for myself prior to and still working on with the boot camp was headspace. And I think a lot of people can kind of relate to that.
It's universal.
Yeah, exactly. And just kind of getting out of your own head and just practicing.
Yeah.
Which I still catch myself getting kind of lost in that sometimes, but bring yourself back in that manner.
Yeah. I think we also make sure today we kind of weren't on the same wavelength during our lunch. And then if we're just okay, let's figure out what this is and then move on with it so that we can start, we weren't fighting or anything, but say we were frustrated with each other. I think we always try to figure out, finish what we started in our conversation. And then once 2:45, if we're starting at 3, 2:45, it's it's on, it's over. We're not talking about that anymore. And if we have to hash it out, it won't be until much later till we put our kids to bed, which we haven't really had any issues. I think a lot of people think oh my gosh, a lot of our patients will say, wow, I can't believe you spend so much time with your husband. I could never do that. And I was I don't know why you married that dude then. But, us, we're so busy. We're not really talking a lot.
Yeah.
And, it is sometimes challenging though. We have to be the perfect, we have to be the perfect couple, and if it relates to someone, I will say yeah, I was frustrated with blah, 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 whatever. But we try not to do that. But I think another thing I do to get ready is I'll kind of say to myself on the way in, I'm a great chiropractor. Chiropractic is awesome. Some stuff to myself, I'm going to have a great day. We're going to
almost like affirmations.
Yeah, just affirmations. We're going to see so many, we're going to see kids, or I'll say something that I started doing more so when we started the boot camp is all right, I want to make X amount of money by this time. And I'll say that to myself and I'll look at it. Okay, I need to make, hi. Oh, this is the other one. Hi, Ella. Come say hi.
Hi, Ella. How are you? It's nice to see you this evening. Thanks for sharing more with us. It's great to see you. Are you going to be a chiropractor when you get older?
Chiropractor, Ella? Are you going to adjust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Awesome. I'll make sure you've got a spot in the boot camp, sweetheart.
Yeah, buy it now. So yeah, I think affirmations kind of saying what you want. I kind of got in a down and out kind of spot because we had some employee issues and that made me upset and frustrated me. And we both noticed that was affecting our performance. So I would say to myself, I want 3 new families. I want 3 new families to start. I want new members. Like I want new patients to start so we can help. I want this type of person. And like today I just started 2 families that are like 100% like chiropractic families. So it's pretty cool. So that kind of stuff like definitely works.
That is awesome. I love that. And you know, anyone who like discounts saying those things just hasn't done it enough to know that it does make a huge, gigantic difference for sure. So
Absolutely.
So let's go back to mindset. What were the mindset subluxations when you started the boot camp? And then after we talk about what were the subluxations, what has been instrumental for you within the boot camp to help make those changes?
Sure. I mean, I'll go. So we do care plans in our office, and just kind of asking people for that amount of money, and kind of knowing, kind of what like the talk on Wednesday was like knowing what you're worth and to charge what you're worth, and then just realizing that you're worth that type of money. So that was big for me, kind of expressing that, and then just kind of getting down in my head, you know, what type of visit number I think is associated for a patient for what they come in here, what I think is needed for their care, and kind of moving in that paradigm. That for me, that was really big.
And are you talking about care instructions, Jason?
Yeah, care instructions, yeah. And
setting out their care instructions.
Right, changing some of my own terminology that I use with patients to better get them prepped.
Yeah, I definitely use instructions now. I wasn't using that.
Right, right.
And what a difference just something so simple makes, right?
Yeah, and I tend to be very analytical with, you know, when I'm going through stuff with patients. With some patients that it works well with, but kind of like letting, like you mentioned a lot of times, listening to them and asking, kind of leading them with questions versus telling. I think that's really helped me a lot with starting patients and getting some success with more.
I love that. And for those of you who don't know, we focus in the boot camp on being interested more than we're interesting, because the person in a relationship in a conversation who talks the most is the one that feels the best about the relationship. So if you want your practice members, if you want your community to listen to you, you first have to double listen to them. And then I find it's just so much easier to serve them. Like if you just ask them, like, what are your expectations of me as your chiropractor? How long do you want to live like that? Do you want my care instructions to reflect that? How can I best serve you? How can I make you happier? What's our stickiness? What do we do better than anybody else? Like all of these things, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And then we know, and then we can either decide I'm either going to do those things because I want more members like this, or I'm not going to do those things and I'm going to make it up on my own, which I don't advise anyone doing.
I wanted to add what I thought
was
kind of like mental subluxation, but I will say with the expectations, like we weren't asking that prior, and everyone is like really stumped on that question because nobody has asked them that. Like none of their care providers have asked like, what do you expect? So that is kind of like interesting, which I think sets the stage for this is going to be a different experience and this will be different. So I definitely find that to be like a really, like a changing point in their mindset, which is awesome. But I wanted to say when we first started, we kind of took like a poverty mentality where we were like, we won't take any money from the business. We won't take any money from the business until we absolutely need it. And then we kind of got to a place and I was like, we have to take money from the business. And it freaked me out. And then I was like, but we worked really hard for this money and this money is there and it's okay to have it. So we definitely switched from like, and then we paid ourselves like as little as possible. And that wasn't, and I was like, I felt so stuck in the financial spot that we were working excuse my language, like our tushies, I won't say our tushies off. And then not, feeling like scared at home. And we have 2 little ones and a house, we have a house and I wanted to keep the lights on and have hot showers. So, we kind of started actually it was right before in the boot camp, we started talking about profit. I hadn't gotten to that spot, but I was like, we cannot live like this anymore. So I think once we switched to like a feeling of abundance and then paying ourselves what we deserved and what we could take at the time, like that, I think like made my frequency higher because I was like, I felt better at home. I felt more secure at home. And it was like a really big mental change. So, and I was like, we should have been doing this the whole time. But yeah.
I should have had a V8, right? Or something like that. And isn't it funny, like Jason mentioned the feeling of, oh, I don't want to like overcharge people. And we have all of these like negative feelings. And then we actually charge the value of what we deliver. And then we all feel better about it. Our practice members feel better. We feel better. I mean, like our bank account looks healthier. We now are contributing to society, and that, you know, perhaps you're buying something new in town, or you're helping somebody else. So no time ever does doing this with our money lead to anyone being better. You know, it's really holding it like this. And because money is just energy, it comes and goes, and it comes and goes. What did you think about, so for those of you who don't know, and Monica Egan, I just wanted to say, hey girl, it's great to see you. What did you think about the statement that I made on Wednesday? For those of you who don't know, in the boot camp on Wednesdays at 1:00, we have a live group coaching call. All of the boot campers are together, face-to-face video. We ask, questions, we get answers. I do teaching, or another coach does teaching. Even boot campers do teaching. And on that one, I said, your worth is determined by the fee that you established, right? Your worth is determined by the fee that you charge, or the fees that you establish. What do you think about that?
I think that there's a lot of truth to that, and I think if you can kind of think of it like there's a difference between staying at like a Ritz-Carlton than also staying at a Ramada Inn. I'm not saying Ramada Inn's bad or anything, but there's a difference there, and your expectations are also different, and your mindset's also different. And if you go to someone that charges, I don't know, $15 for whatever you're doing, what does that say about your practice and what you're worth? And if you charge higher than that, whatever that fee would be, I mean, you have to make a living off of what you do. And it kind of changes the mindset of the patient, I think, as well.
For sure.
You know, they're shelling out money to see you. They want that experience, and you're going to provide that experience for them. So why belittle yourself with a small nominal fee for what you're doing? You're putting the time. You paid a lot for your education, so why are you not charging for what you do?
Or I even think, is the $15 adjustment the same energetically as the $100 adjustment? No.
Yeah.
No one can convince me that it is.
No.
And the reason I say that is our come from changes when we charge more, right? Like I have a funny story to tell you. So it must have been 4 years ago. So Dr. Amanda Affelblatt and Doctors Adam and Amanda are both in the boot camp, and Dr. Amanda and I have coached together for 10 years. She's a phenomenal 7-figure a year practice. And so I think it was honestly 4 years ago now, we had hit some pretty huge milestones in her practice. And so she treated all of her staff and their spouse to Las Vegas, and Dr. Adam did the same with his team. And then they also treated my husband and I there. And so we were staying at the Mirage, and Ben and I rolled in with our totally acceptable luggage here in Alaska, but people at the Mirage don't travel with that kind of luggage. And I remember like wheeling it across the like the lobby going, oh dear, can somebody else please take this? And now we have like way better looking luggage because now we travel a lot more too. But the same kind of thing, like when you enter a place like that, you're like, all right, like I'm going to step things up, and anyone can say, well, I just want to be myself. Okay, go ahead, be yourself. But I'm just telling you, when you come to the market and you charge a higher fee, when someone finds out you're $100, they're going to start thinking like, I wonder what I get is different there for $100 than the place down the street that's 15.
Yeah.
There is a difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. What's life like now? What's practice life now since you've been in the boot camp for several months?
I think definitely more organization.
I think more of like a direction of how to grow doing certain things. And I think, like, I don't know if you remember the first time we chatted on the phone. Like, you're like, how many referrals do you get? I was like, well, or how many do you ask for? And I was like, well, that's easy. Like, we don't ask for any.
Right. I got that one, 0.
Yeah, it was like, great. That was an easy question. So yeah, so like, I think like asking for referrals is easier, and even if we don't ask for them, we're getting more. So I think just like being more aware that we want referrals is, happening.
Right.
I have like my binder. I have like the binder of all my stuff printed, and I have like, okay, we did this, check this, check this. So definitely more organization and direction. It's easier to delegate like certain things to other people. Like, okay, you print off this paper and you do this. That we don't have to do. I don't have to like create the thing, like make the thing, do the thing. Like, it's other people can do some of it. A lot of it for us. I think it's been really helpful to be in the Facebook group, because you can post like one time, you can post a million times, and it's very motivational. Everyone is trying to, I never feel like anyone's like one-upping or anything. It's just like,
yes,
it worked for me, and this is what, this is like what I would do. You're very responsive to us, so that's cool. So that's always good to have a lot of like really valuable people responding to you, because we are still really new in practice. And then I think just the overall kind of like I said earlier, roadmap as to like, okay, we need to do these things. Okay, I know, like, if I didn't listen to my stuff, I'm like, I'm behind on listening to my stuff. Like, I know that I didn't do it. So it's like it's more like accountability, I think, also. So I think that's really great. I think it's just been great to implement new things like the instruction thing and like expectation, that like little snippets. It hasn't been like, we didn't have to do like a full 180. We just are doing like little things to do more and better. So it's been nice to kind of be like little check marks instead of like, okay, do this 100% different. So
nice. And I love that. Oh dear, it's going to get noisy. Just a second. Let me close this door, because my contractor is walking in and he's not quiet. Just give me a minute.
You should do like a dance while we
Alaskan contractors are so interesting. He was supposed to be here at 9 a.m. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's because it's going to get noisy here for a minute. Here's my final question. If somebody asks you about joining the boot camp, what would you tell them?
Good question. Yeah. I would say, are you ready to do some work? Are you ready to look at yourself honestly? Put the time in. Are you ready to see results and even see more patients? Because when you start the boot camp, you're all gung ho. But this is what happened to us, and I posted in the group. I said we got to a place where we got so busy that we actually like had to like pause on some of the stuff that we were doing, because we had to like catch up to the patient load that we had. And I would say I think it's a wonderful opportunity if you're like me and you need and you want a systematic approach to doing things, and you don't have the time or extra energy to create the steps that you think might work but know will work. I think then the boot camp will be perfect to use. I think it's awesome.
I agree with everything Sarah said there too. I can't speak for other schools. We went to Life University. I think they taught you to be a great clinician, but business-wise, you got nothing. And I think a lot of schools out there are probably the same. So those are a lot of the questions. I noticed this on boot camp. No one's like saying, well, how do I treat this? Or what kind of subluxation, like how do you adjust? It's about, what makes you better as a business itself and moving forward and growing your practice from that aspect. So for me, that's been huge, is to try to tackle a lot of the business issues that we haven't been exposed to and we are unsure of, and having that support in general. Yeah,
I would say if you're ready to work, you're ready to put in the time, and you're ready to flip from just survival mode to a mode of thriving, then this is gonna definitely propel you to do that.
I love that. If you're sick of struggle, you know, if you've had enough of that, you know, come on in. Let's give it a go. I also want to say hi to Dr. Ashley. Dr. Ashley, you know, when she started the boot camp, within, I can't remember, Ash, you'll have to put it in there, how many months it took, but not very long. She was making in a week what it used to take her a month to make. So what about you guys? Has your volume gone up? Has your income gone up? Has your fun gone up? What kind of like quantifiable changes have you noticed?
Yeah, that's an important question for sure. I would say when we joined, I think in like
February, March time.
Yeah, like around the beginning, early in the year. I think I remember, I just had like a tap on the back and then I ran away. I think I remember after the first month, we had surpassed the goal I had set by like, I don't know, like $2,000 or something. Like we had surpassed what I had set for the goal. Mm-hmm. And then like, I think then, you know, April came, May came, we had like, again, surpassed maybe by like 10,000 or something.
We pretty much have increased 30% each month.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. Like that, you know, the job of a CEO is to make sure that company grew by 20% that year, right? You guys are growing by 30% a month. I hope all of you who are tuning in right now or watch this later hear that, by 30% per month. So all of you give like a big thumbs up, hands high, you know, high five to Dr. Sarah and Dr. Jason, because that's huge. Like that's remarkable. And do you feel like, you know, Dr. Barb, we're growing by 30% a month, but our home life sucks, or, you know, we're growing by 30% a month? Because sometimes, I don't know if you've heard this around before, but I kind of take a lot of arrows in the back for, you just drive so hard and you push so hard. Do you feel happy? Do you feel like excited about your growth, or has it just been a drudgery that you can't wait to escape? Like, it's like you escaped struggle. Now you're in growth. Is it a pace and that you want to keep going at, or is it like, okay, now that we've done it, we just want to go back?
No, absolutely.
I don't know if you can do that.
It's a matter of, do you want to starve or do you want to eat?
Yeah. And eat the guacamole at Chipotle.
Yeah.
There you go. And you get the guac.
Yeah, I get the guac every time, guys.
That was Heidi, right?
Yes, it's a weird quantifiable thing. But I mean, I think it can be very tiring to go 100%. I think that's something we differ at. I could go like 1,000,000 hours, a million days, and Jason kind of needs more of like we gotta take a break, we gotta like turn off, we gotta do that. I have a hard time doing that. But when you have a family, you have to turn off sometimes and do it. But I mean, I would never want to go back to waiting to see if somebody would call to come in, or wondering like, I hope I do the care plan. I hope I do the care plan well. I hope I do the care plan well. I hope I do the care plan well. You know, that kind of thing. Or like, I feel like this is a big thing. We could talk forever, but I feel like a big thing we always thought, like when we were doing care plans, were that people were like surprised that we would be doing like care instructions, even though we had talked about it 8,000 times with them. But like, it's nice because now we say like, do you want to care? And so I've had a couple no, and then we talk about it and then it becomes a yes. But now it's like, they know that it's going to happen. So I feel less surprised. So it doesn't feel, I never felt bad about giving care instructions, but I felt bad about the surprise. And we don't feel that. I don't feel that way personally anymore. Like we're not for success. So you don't have the anxiety of talking about money or for, you know, as money or care. So you
also have to look at, I mean, does a surgeon blink an eye when they say they have to take out a part or put a part in, and this is what it's going to cost?
No.
So why is it different for a chiropractor? I mean, they're either going to accept the care or they're not going to, or they're going to take the care. And with the work you put in and what you can offer them, how you present to them, there should be no reason why they should not accept that care. That's kind of what I've changed my mindset to, I think, throughout this process.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's our sale to lose. Like they
Yeah.
picked up the phone, they made an appointment, they came into your office, they completed their paperwork. They're saying, I want your help. So it's really and truly our sale to lose. How do you feel the boot camp has prepared you to be better salespeople? I know it's a topic no one wants to talk about, except in the boot camp. We want to be like sales rock stars because, and this isn't for Sarah and Jason, but anyone else watching. It is your responsibility to be a successful salesperson, because if you don't stay in the sale, that person cannot change their life. A sale happens, commitment is made because of money exchanged, and now they can change their life. It doesn't happen any other way. What do you guys think about that? And how have you seen that a change in your mindset about sales has changed the experience for you and your practice members?
Good question. So actually, I was like really into Grant Cardone before I joined the boot camp.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like already like into that. Like, okay, this isn't a bad, dirty word. We can do it. But I think we both kind of felt a little salesy, because if you don't practice and you don't know what you're doing, you are salesy. Like if you're not 100% sure, you are salesy, because you're really not like this is the best option for you. Even though we know chiropractic is amazing and it's changed our lives and our families' lives, but telling that to somebody else can be challenging. So I think that if you don't sell, and you're not selling chiropractic and the philosophy that we are born to be healthy, that it's not right. It's not in congruence with what I believe or with how I would treat my family. And it feels actually more wrong to me now not to, as Dr. Barb would say, stay in the sale and ask for those referrals for family members or kids than it does to like actually like have money exchange.
She's saying, hey, it's my time. It's my turn. I want your
marshmallows. What?
I totally understand. Hey, I know that you two have worked today and now it's the end of the day. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of our tribe and for contributing and for always being there for the group calls. I just appreciate you both so much, and I'm so proud of you. Keep it up. Success looks great on both of you and on your family too. So thank you very much. And if there's anything you'd like to say before we sign off, go ahead.
Oh, sure. Well, no, thank you, honestly, for all the work that you do for ourselves and everyone. It's been really a blessing for us, and we appreciate all the assistance and help of not only yourself but everyone. So no, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been amazing for us, and it's better we can enjoy our family and actually do things and not feel like we're going to starve to death. So it's amazing. So I would say if you're sick of that, it's definitely worth the investment because it's the best to invest in yourself so you can invest in others.
Just realize, nothing's going to come to you just because you want it. You have to go out and get it. I mean,
amen.
You have to work for it. No one's just going to come into your practice and just be a nice person. I mean, you have to go out, you have to do the events, you have to network, you have to ask for referrals, and you have to put the work in, or else you're going to fail. So you have to do the positive things and realize it's work, and it can be a long game. It can be a long game. It's a learning process, and unfortunately, a lot of those times, those learning processes are the most expensive. But
we need them,
and we've made plenty of them. But learning from those mistakes and moving forward and gaining that knowledge has been huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a little GC, we never lose. We either win or we learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So we've always got to look and see how can I learn, or maybe I won, which is like super cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like I won because you two are in my life and you're sweet girls. So have a wonderful evening. Thanks to all of you who joined us tonight. God bless you. Have a wonderful Thursday and rock out your Friday. I'll catch you later. See ya.
Bye. Thank you very much. See ya. Bye-bye.